The Heroic Baron Rivendare stage is one of those levels where you get overconfident since getting to this stage is so easy, but the mechanics are overwhelmingly tougher than your cousin Shelly's marijuana problem.
And I wish marijuana was illegal again!
Shelly!
From all the skeletons and bull this stage shoves into your face, you live long enough just to get suffocated and slowly die. Now in this video, I'm going to go through how I beat Heroic Rivendare using 5 different basic faction leaders. No split faction heroes here, I think they are overpowered right now. Fair warning, this walkthrough isn't a lowest average team level guide. Use this more of a reference on how I beat the stage, as there are multiple ways to beat it. For my strategy, levels do matter, but my levels are on par for the suggested level. Now what makes Rivendare so difficult is the stage mechanic ritual. Every time he summons his skeleton army, it gains a subsequent level each time. He has Blizzard to deal with your big death balls, and the Ogre Magi, which is annoying, which can Bloodlust, Plague Farmer, Catapult, and Necromancer. So to combat this, I use the healer tank build with very effective low-cost minis. Witch Doctor with the shield talent being MVP. I think the Shaman should at least be at rare. The higher her level, the more she heals. For the stage strategy, I move on the left side and fight for the chest with bandits and a ranged unit for extra gold. And then you use that momentum to get the leftmost tower and attempt to push into Baron in hopefully about 2 pushes. Don't wait for overtime or it's too late. First up is Alliance, and this one was one of the harder leaders to beat it with. I found it especially for Alliance you need to fight for the chest. You need the extra gold especially with this build as I'm bringing in Abomination. I think Abomination is great. His hooks take care of Ogre Magi and the catapults. If you have Tyrion underleveled, his healing isn't great unless you got his talent, so you need Shaman for the extra healing. Griffin Rider with airdrop talent is really good here. Any level up you can get on the stage really helps against the waves. Also, any gold that you can mine is such a good bonus. Really try to sneak in as much gold as you can. And for your first push, you really want to capture the tower on the left. Otherwise, I find that you're too slow and you need to restart. Reminder that the chest respawns every 30 seconds. The hard part about this stage is you need to kill Baron as quickly as possible while spending as little on defense. That's why Batrider, Witch Doctor, Plague Farmer are really good on this stage. If your tower can take a few hits, I found that the tower can kill a few smaller units on its own. As long as you kill Baron before you die, it's still a win. My Tyrion has Divine Shield for his talent. If he has decent support, when the talent triggers, it gives about 5 seconds of invulnerability, so you can take a few hits, and hopefully you can kill Baron in that time. For the Horde leader, I'm using Karen Bloodhoof, and for this situation, I don't have thieves as starting minis. So I just jam as many low-cost minis to fight for the chest instead. In general, I think the better tank for this stage is Fire Elemental. Fire Elemental has resistance to magic, which is very relevant, plus he costs 4 gold, leaving you 2 extra gold compared to the Abomination. However, in order for this to work, you need him to live. So if you can afford to, try to wait until your Fire Elemental can be protected by your Shaman healer. If your Elemental is lower in level, he could die quickly. Also, when playing Cairn, you want him protected. I think he's good, but for 5 gold, and deploying him by himself isn't a good thing. As always, try your best to get chests and gold to fuel your aggression. You won't win if the battle lasts too long. Karen is good with the resurrection talent, and with the mini ground stun is way better than it seems. Once you have the base on the left, typically send more on offense. The aim is to win quickly. You just have to monitor your defense. I used Emperor for the Blackrock leader. For the start, I used Thieves and a range to quickly get the extra gold for momentum. In this scenario, I'm using the Unbound unit Bristleback to soak up damage, a nice tactic that can save your range against the Plague Farmer or Ogre Magi or Catapult. The Flamewalker Mini is great at clearing waves, but he dies very quickly. Thorison's strength is the fire weapon enchant when he's deployed and alive, making your non-elemental minis have burn. So having your bandits and bristle have burn damage is very useful. The run itself was very close. In hindsight, I made a few mistakes. I'm using my base's HP as a resource a little too freely. I could have defended earlier, which maybe could have led to more gold. If you can calculate that your base doesn't die from units attacking it, use that time to deploy offensively. It is very risky, but again, killing Baron quickly is key. Clumping on this stage can be a bad thing. In this run, I just kept sending units aggressively, which led to this blizzard and wiped my entire offense. I could have seen it when my bandits met with my main force. I also hesitated in defense here. I cut it too close. If you're underleveled, you probably couldn't do what I just did. But I managed to sneak in the win, probably because of my levels. For the Undead leader, I used my own Baron, making some Rivendare on Rivendare action. I used Skeleton Mage talent and chose Plague Farmer and Abomination for Undead units. Baron is a good 4-cost tank and delay on this map. I've said this before, but your levels on your Shaman generally matter. If it can heal between blizzards, you can potentially save your main force. I also hesitated in deploying defense, since I knew that Abomination cost 6 gold. You need to react to what the opponent is doing. I wasn't counting, but lucky enough, the chest spawned, so easy bandit deployment. Now, this time, since I knew Blizzard was already used, I decided to clump up a bit to take on Baron. Now that I had 2 shamans for the push, I decided to defend as best as I could. If the Blizzard had not been cast, I most likely would have hesitated or deployed in a different location. This is a good example of having strong healing and good momentum with gold to get a quick win. For the Beast leader, I used Chargla, and she is such an interesting leader because of how she equalizes deployment costs. Standard opener with bandits and a ranged unit. Because of the low cost of my units currently, I was able to deploy a strong offense, really utilizing the bristle as a sacrifice so that my main force can move forward. It's unfortunate that my first fire elemental decided to veer off course, which does tend to happen. This is why I brought the Wolf Mini. I think it's a good choice here against most of the units like the Towers, Ogre, Farmer, and Catapult. I was saved by my Shaman from the Blizzard, although I think anything below level 22 might not live. And because of the cost, I was able to get a good defense on the right side with Fire Elemental and Shaman. I saw an opportunity to deploy a Miner even at 4 cost for the extra gold, a trick I like to use for Chargla and PvE. When you have the momentum, doesn't matter how much it costs, you need to look for gold. The power of Chargla is knowing how much your mini will cost next, and you can plan on a fast ball, or at least know how risky you can be with your deployment. You can see the power of a single fire elemental and a shaman on the right side. It nearly pushed on one side alone. Bonus clip with a cenarion leader. I think Cenarius is really the most consistent pure cenarion PvE leader. With the extra gold at the start, I was able to get a fire elemental and Cenarius online for offense. The reason why Cenarius is so good on this map is because of the Treant talent. You basically get a free army when enemies die while rooted, and Baron has single target DPS, so you can potentially come at him with a big army and he has to go through that before getting to your ranged. I was able to defend the right side with bandits stunning ogre with the tower hitting it, and with a well timed and placed witch doctor to defend against the wave. It's funny that I never used Bog Beast. He's very good tank, second to fire elemental, as they both have resistance to elemental damage. I'm bringing in Moonkin, while in general not a great unit. Recently got cost reducted by 3 gold. The AoE capabilities in this level is quite good. I also got his talent when taking damage increases casting speed. With the amount of healing and momentum, Moonkin can have a big impact on this stage. And that is how I beat Heroic Baron Rivendare with the different leaders. I've found this boss to be a bit frustrating, and for some leaders took way more tries and restarts to understand the best deployments. I hope this walkthrough was helpful. Thanks for watching, and may this day be the best for you.